Over half of all clubs in the English Premier League have American ownership, but only about 5% of all players are American. So with that in mind, we are creating an American invasion on the English Premier League. We are putting the US men's national team in the EPL to see, could the US men's national team survive in the Prem? And to do this, we did have to remove a club from the EPL, so I apologize to Southampton fans. I've had to remove Southampton to make way for the US men's national team. So this is the entire US men's national team squad. We've also filled out the youth teams. So we're going to go through the squad, look at some of the key players, look at some wonder kids who might be able to step into the first team, and then we're going to do a 5-year simulation to see if this group of players could stay in the Prem. Also, in case you're wondering why every player has a future transfer range, that is to lock them in at the club so that other teams can't sign them. So that makes sure that all of this first team squad stays at the US men's national team over the course of the 5 years. And even though Gio Reyna doesn't have the icon, he also has a future transfer arranged. I'm not sure why the icon didn't show up for him. This is a big squad. I'm not going to have time to go through the entirety of the squad here, but this is the whole squad so that you can see. But we're going to focus on the key players here. First and foremost, Christian Pulisic. He is Captain America. He is going to be the player leading this side. But he also has a really good supporting cast around him. Looking at the midfield, there's players like McKennie, Reyna, Tyler Adams, Timothy Weah. There are some really solid players here that I think make this US men's national team pretty good. Looking up top, Balogun came up through the Arsenal Academy. He's doing really well in Ligue 1. He's definitely a player who could get 10, 15, 20 goals potentially for this side in the Prem. And then in the back line, you got players like Chris Richards, currently at Crystal Palace, Cameron Carter-Vickers playing in the Champions League with Celtic, Serginho Dest, and then potentially one of my favorite players here, Anthony Robinson, who is definitely underrated in game. He is doing so well for my fantasy Premier League, by the way, but his crossing should be much higher. He is absolutely due for an attribute upgrade in FM25. But that's really just skimming the surface of this US men's national team side. As we move forward in the save, I'll definitely be focusing more on the attacking players because we can look at goals and assists as their stats. But we have the full team here, definitely a big squad, and a lot of players here who can contribute over the course of this 5-year save. But we haven't just filled out the first team squad. We also have filled out the youth squads here, because the US men's national team has some really exciting young players who I think have a really good chance of breaking into the first team, especially during this 5-year cycle. And this player here is the player I'm most excited about for this simulation. They're either footed, model citizen personality, and absolutely brilliant, well-rounded attributes. And this absolutely brilliant wonder kid is WJ Dogtreats. Just like it can be difficult to find that perfect wonder kid in Football Manager, it is getting more and more difficult to find healthy dog treats that your dog will love. Fortunately though, you don't need to send your scouts out anymore to find that perfect dog treat, because WJ Dogtreats is the 5-star wonder kid you've been looking for. WJ Dogtreats is a health-conscious dog treat company that makes delicious dog treats using just 5 healthy ingredients that you can easily name and are great for your dogs. The standout ingredient in these treats is peanut butter, and they have gone above and beyond by buying their own raw peanuts and making the peanut butter themselves from scratch to ensure that each dog treat is of the highest quality. This way, not only will your dogs love these treats, but you can feel comfortable giving your dog a treat that you know will be good for them. I even sent my own scouts to try these treats, and they love them. The transfer value for these dog treats is great too, at just $11.99. But it gets even better, because if you use the code Football Manager at checkout, you'll get $1 off your bag of healthy, delicious dog treats. WJ Dogtreats sells online, and they can ship to anywhere in the United States. So if you would like to purchase these dog treats or learn more about the product, then you can head over to wjdogtreats.com. Additionally, you can find them at farmers markets all across the state of Wisconsin, or even follow them on Facebook or Instagram. So again, head to wjdogtreats.com, use the code Football Manager at checkout for $1 off your bag of dog treats, and you can help support this channel and a small family-owned business of people who are also huge Football Manager fans. I want to say an absolutely massive thank you to WJ Dog Treats. They are this channel's first ever video sponsor. Definitely go check them out. They ship to anywhere in the US. So if you live in the US, definitely check out their website because they have some really high quality dog treats. But going through this youth squad here, there are quite a few players here who look really good and could potentially contribute in these 5 seasons. Kronosky here, he's breaking through at Inter Miami. He could end up being a really good player. Looking through Jack McGlynn here, he, I believe, just scored his first goal for the U.S. men's national team, and Football Manager really likes him. Chris Brady is a player that I signed quite a bit in Football Manager. Paxton Erickson, brother of Brendan Aronson. But I think probably the person who can contribute soonest is Ricardo Pepi. Already, he's got some really solid overall attributes for forward, and I could see him breaking into the first team earlier rather than later in this save. And then we have a few youth players here as well. Probably the player I'm most excited about in game is Stuart Hawkins, the young center back. I think he has all of the attributes here to be really good. He might be a little bit too young at this point. All of these players here might be too young to really break in during this save, but just some players to look out for. But all right, that is the full squad. It's going to be up to Mauricio Pochettino to potentially lead this squad to glory. Can he do it? I think this is the guy to do it. He's playing that 4-2-3-1 formation in game, similar to how he does in real life. And I think that is a formation that suits this squad and this U.S. men's national team. The only thing I worry about for the U.S. men's national team in this save is I can lock in players into the squad. I can't lock in their manager. So if someone comes for Pochettino, it'll be interesting to see who they get and what style they end up playing, because that could end up being important for this squad. And overall, this U.S. men's national team should be pretty good. With the squad that they have currently, they are projected to finish 11th according to the season preview, so this should be a mid-table team. And the other thing that'll be interesting is most of these players are in the U.S. national team, so we'll also follow along the U.S. men's national team here in game, because the World Cup in 2026 will be during this 5-year sim. So it'll be interesting to see if having a bunch of players at the same club actually helps them in that World Cup. But again, we're doing a 5-year simulation here. Let's start off by going 1 season into the future. Let's see how they do in their first season in the Prem, and then we'll jump 5 years ahead to look at the save as a whole. So let's go forward 1 season. And after 1 season, the U.S. men's national team finished in 8th place. They genuinely had a brilliant season. They qualified for European football, European Conference League. What a season 1 for the U.S. men's national team. But clicking on them here, Sergio Conceição is their manager. What happened to Mauricio Pochettino in season 1? Pochettino was fired. He was fired in November, and then Conceição came in December. What happened? Looking through last season's schedule, they started off with 6 straight draws and then had a few losses. They did not win a Premier League game until November. Well, that would be why Pochettino was fired. But a really solid end to the season. And it seems like these last 3 matches here propelled them into the Europa Conference League places. I mean, what from February to May here? Brilliant end to the season. Well, it will be interesting because we will be seeing European football with this U.S. men's national team side. But let's see how some of those key players did. So in season 1, Christian Pulisic, 4 goals and 7 assists. Not bad, 11 goals and assists. 3 Player of the Match award, 7.19 average rating. Certainly a good average rating. Maybe not the goals and assists output we'd like to see. Balogun here getting double-digit goals. That is going to be important, having a forward up top scoring at least 10 goals in the season. Interesting. Josh Sargent played a lot of games. I didn't really anticipate that happening. Maybe Conceição likes having 2 forwards a bit more, but 10 goals from Josh Sargent. So between Balogun and Sargent, seeing a really solid forward pairing up top there. 20 matches from Gio Reyna. I wonder if most of those 12 starts and then 8 off the bench too. Only 1 assist for Gio Reyna. This is a player who they definitely want to play because he's got potential in game. So you'd want to see him playing a little bit more probably. 27 matches from Timothy Weah, 2 goals, 4 assists, but a pretty solid average rating. We did see Ricardo Pepi start to break into the first team, 2 goals from 9 appearances, so not bad from him. Looks like Matt Turner started most games in goal, and actually he only allowed 32 goals in 32 matches, so 10 shutouts. Actually, really solid defensive performance there. I'm actually curious now, defensive and attacking statistics. So 48 goals this season. That was kind of a mid-table performance there. But as far as allowed goal, also kind of mid-table on the allowed goals. So they probably finished around where they should have. Well, moving into this Conceição era, it looks like this is the starting lineup here. We're looking at a 4-4-2 formation with Dest, Carter Vickers, Richards, and Anthony Robinson. Very curious to see how Robinson. 1 assist from Anthony Robinson last season. He is so underrated in game. Anthony Robinson should be so much better in FM25. There is no reason he should only be getting 1 assist over the course of a season. He is so much better in real life right now. But back to the squad. Looks like, again, they're playing that 4-4-2. McKennie and Adams, Pulisic, Weah, Sargent and Balogun up top. Honestly, it's a pretty solid side. Looks like Conceição likes that 4-4-2. It is a pretty solid side. It'll be interesting to see how this looks over the course of the 5 seasons. But all right, a really good season 1 for the US men's national team that gets them into European football. Can they maintain this kind of run over the course of the 5 seasons? We are going to jump 5 years into the future now to find out. And we are now in 2028, 5 seasons into the future, where the US men's national team have just finished in 11th place on 50 points. And I believe 11th is where they were expected to finish in the season preview in season 1. So it seems like they've probably fallen to their level, about a mid-table Prem side. So let's go through the years. That was season 5. Season 4, the U.S. men's national team finished 16th. Interesting. So down in 16th in season 4, season 3, 16th as well. Season 2, 17th. This was the year they were in European football, I believe, right? Because in season 1, so they went from 8th to 17th to 16th, 16th, and then 11th. A very interesting run from the U.S. men's national team. Well, they've certainly been through their fair share of head coaches here, with Russell Martin having to be an interim a lot. But Conceição was fired after about a year in the job. Then they picked up Nagelsmann, Julian Nagelsmann. What an interesting manager to bring in. And then Brendan Rodgers, and now they have Tite, the Brazilian head coach. So let's start off with season 2 now, looking at the schedule, looking both at the Prem, but also how they did in the Europa Conference League. So I can see down here they made the league phase for the Europa Conference League. They actually beat Liverpool in the Carabao Cup 3rd round, but then they lost to Sheffield United in the Carabao Cup 4th round. But doing really well in the league phase here. As you guys can see, winning pretty much every match in the Europa Conference league phase. So really good performance there. So they had a good period here. But again, I think they finished 17th this season. And that would be why. Wow, that run from January and February. Really poor there. Not a good end to the season. They made the Europa Conference League semifinal. Oh, we almost saw them win a trophy, like a European trophy. Oh, they got knocked out on pens. They went to Vallecano and lost away from home and then won by the same scoreline at home. Malik Tillman. Oh, he missed the pen. He scored the first goal, but missed the penalty that could have sent them through. That's such a shame. It would have been so cool to see this team get to a European final. And I would bet looking through this season, if there's one thing that the AI is really bad at, it's rotating the team. So I wouldn't be surprised if they finished in 17th in season 2 because of this European run and they just weren't rotating the players. And it seems like they lost that momentum. Yeah, looking at season 3 here, it looks like a lot of that momentum was lost in season 3. Probably the same thing here with season 4. just losing a lot of that momentum, a lot of draws and losses. And then it seems like they were able to gain it back in season five, which actually looking at this season five, a pretty decent season overall. We're seeing a lot more wins this season. Yeah, this is the form of a mid-table side. Really solid end to the season as well. And it looks like we do have some players who have broken through into this U.S. men's national team side. Gabriel Slonina has broken through. He's at Chelsea, I believe, in real life now. And he's broken through into the side, albeit not a brilliant average rating. Justin Che has broken through as well. He's made a few appearances for the team. But all right, the real question is, how have some of those key players, how have they done for the U.S. men's national team? And looking through here, a really solid 5 seasons from Christian Pulisic. And actually, he's gotten better as time has gone on. 11 goals in the most recent season and consistently with pretty good average ratings. Pulisic's definitely showing why he's the leader of this U.S. men's national team. 11 goals here, 9 goals here. Pretty solid output from him. Not too bad from Balogun either. Maybe we would like to see a few more goals from him, but 3 seasons getting double-digit goals. I mean, that's definitely a striker who can keep them in the Prem. Maybe Gio Reyna is a player we would have liked to see more from. Looking at the output here, has he developed at all? He's developed into a very good player. I don't know, maybe he just wasn't utilized as much as maybe we would like to have seen from some of the managers that have come in. Looks like after season 1, we didn't see that same production from Josh Sargent. Maybe those lack of goals is why we didn't see the U.S. men's national team doing as well in subsequent seasons after season 1. I'm telling you, the way Football Manager has Anthony Robinson right now is an absolute crime. There's no reason that in 5 seasons, Anthony Robinson should have only gotten 3 assists in the Prem. He's doing so much better in real life. If he does not get an attribute upgrade in real life, especially with his crossing and dribbling, then Football Manager has messed up. This player is probably the best left back in the Prem right now. And for him to have this kind of output, there's no way that would happen. Timothy Weah not really having a good output either. I feel like maybe some of these attacking players for the U.S. men's national team might be a little underrated in game. Weston McKennie was definitely solid over the course of the 5 seasons. Not brilliant, though. And that seems to be the story a lot of these U.S. men's national team players in this save. Solid, but not brilliant. So over the course of 5 seasons, did this U.S. men's national team survive in the Prem? Absolutely. They stayed in the Prem every single season, even qualifying for European football, and in the final season here, finishing 11th. But overall, I would say it was a moderately successful save for the U.S. men's national team. We definitely saw the heights that they could go to, qualifying for European football, making a European semifinal, but it seems like they definitely need the right coaching, the right people in place, and a bit of momentum as well, at least in game, given that they had 3 seasons where maybe they weren't as good. And 2, I do think a lot of these U.S. men's national team players are in for an upgrade in FM25. In particular, Anthony Robinson is tearing it up at Fulham right now. He's one of the best left backs in the Prem. If he does not get an upgrade in FM25, then someone's going to need to petition that because he's been amazing. And the last thing I'm interested here is, how did the U.S. men's national team do in the World Cup? The key player is Chris Brady. Why is it not Christian Pulisic? We also have the answer to who replaced Mauricio Pochettino. 11th in world rankings. I'll tell you what, that's not bad. Actually, they were in the top 10 at one point. So that suggests the U.S. men's national team has done pretty good. But a World Cup on home soil, what did it look like? They finished first in Group A in their group, and they beat out Croatia. Croatia are a big country. That is a really solid result there. Moving into the second round, a 3-0 victory over Austria. That's another really good performance from the U.S. here. Making some solid ground. Round of 16, they lost to England. The irony of this save, that they're in the Prem and lost to England in the World Cup. Maybe a little bit disappointing. And then England ended up losing 3-2 to the Netherlands in the quarterfinal. and the Netherlands actually ended up winning the World Cup on penalties. So they got knocked out in the round of 16 of the World Cup. How'd they do otherwise? They won the Nations League. They beat Mexico in the Nations League final. They also beat Mexico in the Gold Cup final. So it looks like they generally continued their dominance. Didn't do great in Copa America, though. I'm not really sure if having all of their players on the same team really ended up benefiting the US national team on the international stage. But overall, they still did pretty well. But all right, that is everything I've got for this video. This was 5 seasons of the US men's national team in the English Premier League. And again, I want to say a massive shout out to WJ Dog Treats. Thank you for sponsoring this video. Our channel's first ever video sponsor. If you've been following this channel, please go check them out. Head to wjdogtreats.com. They make delicious, healthy dog treats. If you've got a dog, if you've got friends or family that have a dog, definitely go check them out. It's a great gift for the dog in your life or a loved one in your life. But with that all being said, I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are taking care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!